Hi, everybody. Sorry about the mess here. I wanted to first, before we do anything else, show you where we're at and what we're doing. So you guys have created this box, right? You have this. You've created the hinge, and everything works wonderfully. And you'll see this 3D print is gorgeous. Like, this is going to be really nice. One of the problems is that this little piece snapped off, right? It goes right here and snaps onto here. And when I went back and looked at it, what I realized is that I had the dimensions wrong on this. And so I did 1 millimeter instead of 2. So before we do anything else on that top, we're going to have to fix that one little piece. So I wanted to show you that has to happen, or else yours is going to snap. The other thing I want you to do is think about what you want the top to have. Your design, this is for you. We're going to 3D print it for you. It has to be something that cuts out. And the reason it has to be something that cuts out is if we do anything raised here, we're going to have to do infill. And the second we do that, the texture changes. I really, really think the smooth texture is really nice for your little box. And so we want to keep that. If you decide to do anything on the bottom, that's extra. You don't have to do that. The only thing you're editing is the top for this assignment. So when you look, you're going to be cutting away pieces. So you have to think about it. Like where you look at my D, like you can't really, we'll get as close as we can here, but that D, the little infill part of the D is gone, right? So you have to think of that as you're moving forward. What's going to go where and how is it going to work? Does that make sense? Because that's what we're working with. And I just wanted to show you that real quick before we get into it. So the images of these are on your assignment. And you can refer to them after that, but I wanted you to see this moving, forward. All right, so I can get rid of my face. Okay, so now what we're doing is we're working with, this is the existing one as of the dimensions that I gave you for the tutorial. And if you go into this piece here, and for some reason I didn't have it preloaded, I'm sorry. Give it a second. Poop. Okay, if you look at that original technical drawing, it's giving me a hard time here, people. Okay, you'll see here that the dimension says that from the line here, right, to the outside of the latch is 2. Does it say 0.2? No, it just says 2 millimeters, right? We know it's 2 millimeters. The problem is when I originally did this and then made the video for it, I thought it was coming from this end of the latch to that end of the latch. That's not the case. So the easiest way to fix this is to make this block that we were working with 4, and then it'll naturally pull it out 2, and everything falls into place. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So I can kind of close all this. You can see I have these images are up on your assignment. These are here. So I'll close that so you have more room. So if we go into, let me hide this, whichever drawing made it, there's all the recording stuff's like in the way, sorry. So here, see how that's that? So I'm going to double click on that sketch, and it's got the 2. I'm going to double click on the 2, and I'm going to make it a 4. That's it. When I do that, everything else follows where it needs to go. And now we have that extra millimeter thickness where it's not going to snap off. Okay, so now we have to put something on the top that's going to cut away. So what I did is I was like, hey, I want to do something a little different with my words. So I went to sketch, and I'm picking this surface. Don't pick this plane because that's hanging out somewhere else. Pick this surface. And I did a 3-point arc. This is where you could do anything you want. Oh no, did I do that or did I do a circle? I think I did a circle. Let's do a circle. So for that, I can just use my easy stuff up here. And I'm just gonna draw a circle. And I'm not gonna be crazy about dimensions because this is where you guys are doing your creative stuff. This is not, you're not following exactly what I'm doing. You're coming up with something similar, but your personal idea for your box that you want to keep. So we're going to go here. What I'm doing is, I want this to be a construction line, but I'm making a construction line that goes from midpoint to midpoint, just so I can make sure my circle is centered. Again, this is just for me to make things, I'm doing a coincident constraint. And I'm putting it on this line. So now it's stuck in the center. I'm not worried about size because I may have to go back and manipulate that. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a text. And this new warning comes up that we have to keep it inside. And I'm going to pick this one that says text path. And now I'm going to select the circle. So as I write things, it's going to go on that circle. We can kind of figure out what we want. So for this one, I'm just going to do my daughter's name. Okay. And then I can see it went upside down. Yes, we can play with this and see what we want. Or you can go inside the little, it's almost like a quotation, but it's not. It's actually an exclamation point, right? Or no, God, not exclamation point. Help me here. Apostrophe. It's an apostrophe. There we go. My brain's not working today. So you go on the right side. Inside the apostrophe is where things are happening, right? So I'm just taking spacing and moving it. It looks kind of ugly. I'm thinking it needs to be caps. What do you guys think? So again, this is just you playing with what you want here. And then making it how you want to make it. I don't know. Make it bold, maybe. The thicker you do it, the better. So the one thing I know from what I'm doing with hers is that triangle right here is going to disappear. I'm okay with that. Size-wise, I feel like it could be a little smaller. So I'm going to maybe try 8 millimeters. But again, there's nothing here where you have to do something a certain way. This is us playing and making things what we want. Maybe go back one. It's not centered. Let's see if I have a center option here, if that'll help me. Okay, that did it. So I went to the center alignment and then played with it. Again, this is all just you guys playing. So I'm going to hit finish sketch on this, and then I'm going to extrude remove. You could do it square. You can do it however you want. So I'm going to extrude and then cut. So I'll go down here and I'll just pull through. And I'm not being crazy. I'm just doing that. And now it's cut out. And you can see from the shadow what's going on. I know from the print this is not going to print. So I'm going to go back and do another extrude. Grab that and then pull that through. The other thing I'm going to do is the technique where I'm going to bring in an SVG of something. And I want to show you that. But this is really, really important. You must. So I just picked flower SVG. It must be something that is solid. This will not work. Anything where you're cutting where the white all of a sudden doesn't touch the outside will disappear. All of this won't work. So you have to be very, very careful about what you pick. So like this one here, that's pretty. So for me, I'm going to take a snip and sketch of it because sometimes I find the files are not right if you don't do it. Now I have an older program here, an older Windows, but you're taking that image and then you're saving it. So when I go to save it, it saves to my downloads. It could save to your pictures depending on where it goes. PNG, and then I can put flower just to make it easier to find. You can see I have a lot from all the other stuff kids have done. Okay, so then once we have that, we're going to convert it, right? So I'm going to go to PNG to SVG. Oh, not Adobe. I'm sorry. Somebody must be paying to get this one to the top. That's why you can see it's purple. I've done it before. Convertio is the one I like. Not all of these converters are the same. You're creating a line drawing, so you want to make sure that it's giving you the right amount of pixels and things like that in order for the system to pick it up. Okay. So now when I go into my Fusion here, I'm in the one, again, because I'm using an older system, I had to put it in for Chromebooks. Okay. So I'm going to insert an SVG. And I'm going to go to my computer, insert from Fusion team, upload, So I think because I'm on the thing, it's making me do it this way. File. Flower. No, this one, right? It says HTML document, but it should be an SVG. I don't know, it's just, again, because this is an old program. Where did I just save it? Okay, I saved it in that folder. Perfect. So when I go into the folder at the top, so I'm into my admin projects. Huh. I don't know, it's having issues. Of course it is, because I'm demoing. Insert SVG. Shouldn't be this complicated, people. Okay, where are we? All right, so we're picking the surface again, not necessarily the plane. And then I'm just moving it into where I want it. And I'm changing the size with a little corner. So as you can see, I was very careful about what I picked. You have to be careful with all of this. It's going to be cut out. It's not going to be embossed. You have no wiggle room. Okay. So then that's done. And I can extrude remove those pieces, or extrude cut. Oh, I hit the wrong one. I did it again. Pull through. And there you go. This is done. That's all you had to do. So you had to fix the flange here, the little clasp, and then you had to cut something out of the top to make it your own. So you're going to save it. And this is the thing, you are not going to share the file link with me. Instead, you're going to go to export. Oh, and before we do anything else, I'm sorry. Double check here, go to your document and make sure this says millimeter. If this does not say millimeter, change it to millimeter. It doesn't matter how you did it to get to this point, assuming you've put in millimeter on all your numbers as you go. But I want this to be driven through millimeter because the 3D printer likes that better. So then we're going to go here to export. And then my drop down, it says Autodesk Fusion Archives. I don't want that. And if I look right away, I don't see STL. I have to scroll. There's more going on down here than you think. So you're going to go here, export. And so what that did is it saved it to my files. Now, when we go into here, right, we're doing this part 2, design, change, and print. These are all the things we did. We made sure that the file's in millimeters. Make edits to the cover. It must cut out. Add 1 millimeter to that latch. So the way we added that 1 millimeter is we went from 2 millimeters to 4 millimeters, which made the extra one stick out. Export as an STL in millimeter file format, and then finally submit the STL of the edited top. You can do the bottom. You're going to just email that to me because I don't want it to be part of this. But you can. You just have to keep in mind that anything you edit could change things. So I'm going to go into the student, view a student. And then I'm going to go here to my rocket ship. And I'm going to go to, whew, what is all that? Where did it download to? Do you see it? I don't see it. No, let's see what happened. I think it's because I'm doing it here. So STL, export, STL. Oh, because I sent it to the project instead. I had this problem before where I couldn't get it to the computer because it's because we're internal. So I wonder if it's here, if I then go here, you're going to find it here. This is if you're doing it at home, guys. Do you see my STL extension anywhere? Oh, it says to refresh, so I will. Okay, here it is, my STL, right? So then if I go here, I should be able to download to my computer. Create Fusion Design. No. It's being weird. They keep wanting me to go back into their system. Download. There we go. That wasn't complicated at all. Hopefully yours is just a download because you have the one installed on our computer and it doesn't do all of these shenanigans for you. All right, so we're back to the assignment. I'm going to go here. Now I should have my download. Also, I'm going to have you name it. So you're going to put, oh, I have to do this, right? So I should have named the file, but you're going to do your first name, last name, and then top would work. But I need something that names it so that I know who's who when we go to print all these. So we're going to say submit assignment. If I tried to submit something else, I would not be able to find it because I forced the extension to be that STL extension. So there's no way to do it unless it's like this. You're going to get the angry clipboard. You've done everything correctly. Okay, because I'm not looking to look at it. I'm looking to print it. The assumption is you did everything correctly. We will see, right? So if you look at what I did on my original, like if we go to the other one I made before I 3D printed here, this is what it looks like, but this is what it prints like, okay? And that's just the way it is. Like they're not, where's my print? Right here. So keep that in mind as you move forward. What are you going to get? What are you going to get in the end? Like I said, the actual physical lid is so awesome, so it's totally worth it. But keep it pretty basic like I did. All right, good luck, guys. You got this. How do I get out of this now?